Alright, so let's continue with problem 15 through 18. I already did most of them, so we had a little screw up in the video that I made previously, so I decided to redo it. So for 15, we're taking the limit as x approaches 2 of x plus 3 over x plus 6, and because it's a quotient and 2 is in the domain of the function, we simply can plug it in. So that's exactly what we do here. We plug in the 2 for where we see x, so it becomes 2 plus 3 over 2 plus 6, which is 5 over 8. And then we take the limit as x approaches 2 of 5 over 8, which is 5/8. Okay, on to 16. Okay, for 16 we have the limit as 3s approaches, or sorry, not 3s, the limit as s approaches 2/3 of 3s times 2s plus 1, minus 1. So again, it's a polynomial function, so we can simply plug in 2/3 wherever we see s. So we plug it in, and then we plug in 2/3, so 3 times 2/3 is of course 2, and then you end up with 2 times 2/3 is 4/3, and so 4/3 minus 1 is 3/3, 4/3 minus 1, which is 4/3 minus 3/3, which is 1/3. So 1/3 times 2 is 2/3, and the limit as s approaches 2/3 of 2/3 is still 2/3. So that's 16. On to 17. Another simple problem. Here we have the limit as x approaches -1 of 2x minus 1 squared. We factor out the 3 because the 3 is a constant, so we can ignore it until the end. So from here, we plug the -1, we plug it into the equation. 2 times -1 is -2. -2 minus 1 is -3. -3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. The limit of 27. Limit as x approaches 1 of 27 is 27. And so that's 17. On to 18. So for 18, we have a quotient here. And whenever we have a quotient, I want to try to simplify it, if it's possible, before I do any algebra. And I want to make sure that the number is in the domain of the quotient, in the domain of the in the domain of the denominator. So 2 is in the domain of this function. I can simply plug it in, but I do the algebra to simplify it, so I don't have to, so it's less work. So doing the algebra, we factor the bottom. So factoring the bottom, we have 1 and 1, 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. So we end up with y plus 2, and then y into y plus 3. Y plus 2 cancels, so we end up with 1 over y plus 3. We plug in the number. We plug in the 2. So it becomes 1 over 2 plus 3, which is 1/5. For 18. Okay.